Happy Monday. If you are watching on a replay, let me know in the comments, #replay. Wait for the YouTube to catch up and get me situated on the Facebooks. My internet seems pretty slow, so I'm hoping it catches up a little bit. All right, Melissa said sounds good. All right. So as you're coming on here, tell me hi, tell me what you're working on, tell me how your weekend was, all the things. I finally have a project that's just mindless, stuck in it forever, so I can hopefully get a little bit of knitting done while I'm chatting with everybody. Trying to get a sweater done before the end of the year. And it's not a gift, it's for me. We'll talk about it. Holly, your mail arrived. Good. I was going to say something to you when you were here the other day, but I thought, no, I'll just let it show up in the mail. Working on another 1898. Hi, Mama. Hi, Sherry. Excellent. Also, happy winter. So right, yesterday was the first day of the winter and the longest day of the year. Isn't that how it works? So the days are going to start, or the shortest day of the year. Now it's going to start getting longer again. Hi, Joyce, working on the coasters. Hi, Sarah. I missed everybody last week. I ended up going out of town to head over to my folks' house to help them out with a couple things and had sort of hopes that I was going to do at least a quick live from their house. It just didn't work out that way. Hi, Charlene, working on the sideways sweater. Excellent. Sarah driving back from Toledo's lights. Oh, I bet that was fun and not too cold. Might have even been able to drive around with your windows down. Nicole finished the blanket last night. Awesome. After this, I'm going to start a bandana. Big toe frame she bought me. Well, you're her daughter, so she's going to spoil you, and that's okay. It's allowed. Okay, so it's after 7, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is December 22nd. Happy winter. Merry Christmas, Linda. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. We are here Wednesdays through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., except not this week and not next week. So we'll talk about hours, holiday hours shortly. The rest of the market is open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. with a few exceptions. So as usual, my little asterisk is if there's a business you're coming here to see, make sure to check their socials to check their hours before coming in. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. Hours for this week and next week. We are open 10 to 3, New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So Wednesday, the 24th and Wednesday, the 31st, we are here 10 to 3. I will, hi Linda on YouTube. I will say that if you're planning on coming in and hanging out with us, I know we've had a few people say they've got time off this week, and so they're going to come in on Wednesday and visit with us a little bit. If you're planning on doing that, you may want to bring something to eat with you. I don't know how many of the food vendors will actually be open on Wednesday. I know the bead store will be open, Purple Sage will be open, and we will be here. Pearl's Deli is out of town. If you follow them on socials, Mitch and his wife Carrie are in New York City right now. He was all excited to show her some of the real New York style delis. So they are closed this week. And I imagine a few of the food vendors are going to be closed on Wednesday as well, with it being a short day, plus then being closed the next day. That's harder for food businesses than it is for us. It's not that difficult for us to open the doors, close the doors. We don't have to worry about food waste. But we will be here. Karen and I will be here 10 to 3 this Wednesday and next Wednesday. And then we're closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and then hours back to regular hours on Friday and Saturday, so 10 to 7. If you are one of the people that is taking the Flurries Cowl class with Deb and Ashley starting in January, let us know if you have interest in learning how to put that pattern into Knit Companion. If Knit Companion is something you use and you want to put that pattern in there. Joyce has talked about doing a class prior to the Flurry Cowl starting. I mentioned it to Deb a little bit earlier tonight, and she wasn't quite sure how many of the people taking the class actually use technology for stuff like that. So if you are one of those people, let us know in the comments. Okay, so that's holiday hours. I did want to kind of go over last minute gift ideas for both in store and online. We do always have our gift certificates available for sale online, and we could ship those to people. We have a little note on there that says just to call us or message us to let us know where something needs to be mailed, if we need to mail or email something out to somebody. Which is reminding me that I saw an email earlier from somebody about ordering a gift certificate online, but we have those available up to New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. We can get those to your family members or to you if you want to give it to a friend who is a crafty somebody. Purple Sage also has gift certificates. She's got an entire wall of beautiful finished jewelry. Lots of stuff in there. So always good ideas. If you are a knitter or crocheter, something you could request from her. I'm gonna say you probably wouldn't be able to come in on Wednesday and get it that day, but in the future, she makes really cute stitch marker sets for us too. So that's always a great gift idea. And she can do the ones with the closed jump rings or the kind that open and close if you need them for that. Tony working on the Rubus sweater. Ooh, I feel like I saw that one, but I can't recall what it looks like off the top of my head. Other gift ideas. If you want to give people ideas to come in and shop for you on Wednesday, we have lots of needle sets, both Knit Pro and Chiagu needle sets here in stock. We might even, I don't know if we have a set of the bamboo Haya needles interchangeables left or not, but those are 20%, 40% off. Hi, Dorothy. Merry Christmas. Hi, Vicky. Might be interesting in Knit Companion to Joyce. Okay. I will make a note of that, Vicky. Other ideas. We have project bags here. We've got Delaque bags, kind of the medicine bag style, the mesh tote that's got the box inserts. We've got one of those left. I'm kind of looking around the store while I'm talking. Needle organizers, Cocoa Knits accessories, including their pattern, their magnetic pattern boards. I can't think of what they call them. And then the portfolios where the pattern keeper fits really nicely in those. The flight of stitch markers is awesome. It's got, I think 20 each of 6 different kinds of stitch markers, both open and closed stitch markers in there. So lots of Cocoa Knits accessories here in the shop. So that's last minute gift ideas. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about knitting, what I'm working on, what I finished, all of that good stuff. So I finished, let's start there. A couple weeks ago, I talked about this big bulky cowl called the Double Split Color Blocked Cowl by Church Mouse. And I finished it. I wrote this week's note just has a short little thing that just says double split cowl, but I knew that wasn't the name of the whole thing. So this is what it ends up looking like. I did the purples and then the variegated blues and purples and golds. So this is what it ends up looking like when you knit it. So the top half has a split on this side. The bottom half has a split on this side. and it is completely reversible. So you fold one half over the other and it's so cozy. It's a little warm in here for it, so I won't keep it on. But this is one of the ways you can wear it. So you've got the two, it's not been blocked. I think if it was blocked, these points would pop out a little bit more. Let's see if I can aim the Facebook camera down a little bit more. There we go. But so this is one way, and you can flip it. So either one is kind of the primary one. You could turn it if you wanted more of one color to show with just a peak of the other one coming through a little bit. I think it's so cool. So this takes 2 skeins of a super bulky yarn. I used Rasta, but you could also use Caracol. This is where I was saying how the opposites would be, is that Arape? Would be a really cool idea. So both of these are Caracol, the color Arape, but they're like the inverse. So Arape is dyed as the bulkier yarn in this one, and then the thinner thread in that one. Oh, I got fuzzies everywhere, you guys. So flipping it the other way. So you can wear it either way. You could do high contrast, you could do low contrast, you could use 2 skeins and do it all one color. It still is a very effective, I think it would be really effective even it just in one color with the 2 skeins. It sits really nicely because of that split. It doesn't feel like it's climbing up my neck like a lot of the bulkier ones do. And it just kind of has that nice little, just comes wide on your shoulders a little bit more. So that is the double split color blocked cowl done. It took me about 2 days. Sometimes I find I start a quick project like this on big needles and think it's going to go really fast, but there is a point in which big needles get too big and a little, I don't want to say counterproductive, but it just slows you down a little bit more. So, and this is all in 1x1 rib, which is, I know some of you, it's not your favorite thing to do, but it really was fast. I did have to go down a couple needle sizes for this. It calls for a 15, I think, and I'm pretty sure I did mine with an 11. So I went down a couple needle sizes and my gauge was still looser than it called for. So I started with the purples and I had almost half the skein knit up and it was only about this tall and way too loose. I started with 15, so I had to rip the whole thing out and then do it again with the 11s to get it high enough so it was deep enough. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I played yarn chicken. I had, when I was ending my purple and switching to the variegated, that's how much yarn I had left. I wasn't just playing fast and loose though. So I knew I was getting close to the end of the first skein of the purple. And so what I did was at the beginning of a row, I took, how did I do that? I took the length of yarn that I had left from the skein and I folded it over on itself and I put a knot halfway through what I had left. And I started knitting with it. And if I was able to get halfway around, so I think it's 64 stitches. So if I was able to get 32 stitches out of half of that strand, then I knew I had enough to make it the rest of the way around. It was cutting it pretty close. I mean, it was a little bit more than this because I did have enough to weave my ends in, but like, it was like that much more. It really wasn't a whole lot. So, you don't have to cut it that close though. I really, Melissa said the variegated is nice. I was a little skeptical myself. I know there's the purple in here. And because they're the same dyer, it's the same tones of the purple in this one. But I really like how it looks. Just that pop of color. I probably, if it were me, I would wear it with the darker color as the primary with just this little pop underneath. But I think that's really fun. So that, ugh, that is something that I finished. Now I was working on, and surprise, surprise, this is not the sweater that I have that's just garter or just stockinette in the round that I was knitting on, because I started something new. But this is the Trixie sweater. I think I've made it a little bit further than the last time. It probably was the same place as when I showed it on Wednesday for Witch Making Wednesday. This is the back, so it's got this neckline. It does have a collar that you pick up afterwards, so the neck won't be quite so wide. And I'm doing 4 colors instead of 3. So my stripes are a little bit narrower. My blocks are a little bit narrower. So instead of 18 stripes in each color, I'm doing 12 stripes in each color. So this is, it's got this really cool shoulder construction where you're doing your increases. You don't have raglan increases. It's just increases on either side of this side shoulder seam. So I've got the back done, the armhole, working on the front, working down in my second color, about to, got a couple more rows before I switch to my third color to that orange. But that one got put on the side burner. Merry Christmas, Pat, because of the next project that I will show you, which is another sweater. So that's the Trixie sweater, and I am really excited to finish that up. I just gave myself a challenge. So it got put on the back burner for a minute. Ranunculus. Ranunculus is a really popular sweater. I've knit 3 of them, and I'm gonna grab them, at least 2 of them, and show them. So I didn't do that ahead of time, so I'll be right back. They're all over the place. Okay, so 2 of these are fingering weight, and they've not been blocked in a while. But this is probably the most accurate one in terms of size, style of the original. It's just a little wonky, but you know, that's okay. Aren't we all? So the ranunculus sweater is a cropped, loosely knit, seamless top down sweater that can be done in multiple weights. If you look at the original pattern, she's done one in just a mohair on its own, and it's light and airy and lovely. It's meant to be boxy and oversized. This one's done in fingering weight, so it's got short rows in the front and in the back. And then it's got this little bit of texture and lace in here. And then it just goes to straight stockinette. But the whole thing is done on 9s or 10 needles. So it's a pretty loose texture. This one's kind of fun to show because it's a self-striping yarn, which you can't really see too much on the body. But when you look at the sleeves, you can see how if you were to knit a sock, this is like what you would get for a self-striping sock yarn. Lots of ribbing down at the bottom, twisted 1x1 ribbing, but it's meant to be the original kind of a cropped top. The second one I did for my kiddo quite a few years ago, because this was like Harry Potter colors. When we had a Brenda and Heather trunk show, I must have had a mini skein to go with it, enough to do the top and the bottom of it. But this was another self-striping yarn, just a little cap sleeve version. And then I also had done a worsted weight version with a fade kit in Malabrigo worsted. And I wanted to see what size I could do with 5 skeins of worsted weight yarn. And it's long. And I think Nancy tried it on one time, and she's a pretty busty girl, and it fit her very well. So, hi, Courtney. I bet it's a lot warmer there than it is here. We miss you. So this took 1,000 yards, basically, 5 skeins of a worsted weight yarn, which I love. Um, because it offers an ample worsted weight sweater without needing a crazy amount of yardage because of the larger gauge with it. So same thing with this one. It was on 9s or 10s. I can't remember what I did, but it's not like it's super see-through or anything because it's a worsted weight yarn. And this Malabrigo worsted is a single ply kind of fuzzy yarn. So it gets kind of a fuzzy texture to it, but so now I'm making another one. And I'm challenging myself to do it before the end of the year because that's just what I'm doing right now. I actually challenged myself to do 2 worsted weight sweaters before the end of the year. This one, and then I was going to do a flax sweater. Karen started the flax sweater for me. My goal is to finish this one and then finish the other one. So she took pity on me. But this is what I've got so far. And I apologize, I don't have my pearl strings with me and I'm on a tiny cord, but the yarn is Madeline Tosh Farm Twist. So it's a 2-ply. All my skeins that I have of it are wound, but, and the color is called Birkenstick. So it's a 2-ply non-superwash. Let's see. No, it is superwash. Farm Twist is 100% superwash merino wool. The color Birkenstick, and each skein is 225 yards. So I've got 4 of these. I really wanted to make a sweater with this yarn, so I figured this would be a great one to do. I'm going to knit up a couple on the body and then knit the sleeves and see how it goes from there. Too warm for December. Yeah, but you can drive around. I did love this about going to Florida in December, back when we used to do that. Like, you can drive around and look at the Christmas lights with your windows down, and you can play Christmas music and you can get the fresh air. I do miss that about going to Florida around the holidays. Although, I mean, it's in the 30s here. I guess you could do that if you really wanted to. It's not my thing. I should have worn my other shirt that I bought last weekend that says not made for winter, because that is very true also. But so this is the color I'm using. It's called Birkenstick. It's really pretty. It's got grays and different tones of brown in there. I have one skein. This one is quite a bit lighter than the others. And I can't really tell too much like this. When I wound them all, it looked very much lighter than the rest. So I used that on the top, and I will use it for the cuffs and the bottom. Okay, according to my notes on Rev, I used 10s for the worsted weight one. Okay, well, that's what I'm using for this one too. So you can still see the design in there. This is kind of a good example of a busy yarn that's multicolored is going to disguise stitch patterns a little bit, but that's okay. I did have to rip. I was down here and realized my stitch count was way off, and that's because I forgot an increase up here. So I had to rip all of that out yesterday. And I'm not alternating skeins. So this is what I get when I don't alternate skeins, is this fun pooling where you get like a little gray chunk over there and a little brown chunk over here. And I am not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to let it be part of the design and just go with it. I think it's fun. If I had probably a month and a half, I might let it bother me and alternate 3 skeins, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go with it. And I still think it will be fun and lovely. My goal is to make it long sleeves. We'll see how far I get. But I am into my, you know what? That was not the light skein. This is the light skein. There we go. That shows quite a difference. So this skein I used just around the top of the collar, and I'll use it on the cuffs and the bottom ribbing too, because it's a lot lighter. So this was my first skein, and I left a little bit of that because I did blend it a little bit from when I switched from the first full skein to the second one. And I want to do the same thing on the sleeve. So I saved this little bit. What I will probably do is split this in half, put it on the scale, weigh it and split it in half. Use a little bit of that for each of the sleeves and blend it into either this skein or the other skein. So it's not like a harsh line where I stopped one skein and started the next. I'll alternate rows, maybe like 6 or 8 rows with worth where I knit one round with one yarn, one round with the other yarn, just so it blends a little bit more. I did do that up here, but you can't really tell because of the texture and stuff too. So Mom says she's proud of me. I'm proud of me too, Mom. Thanks. So that is what I'm working on right now. I think I'll be able to get it done. I keep telling myself Marie Green's Summer Knit Along is a 4-day sweater, and this time I didn't do it in 4 days. And generally I don't, but I have. And so if I can knit one of her sweaters in 4 days, I can knit this in 4 days. The rest of it is either stockinette or 1x1 ribbing. So I can totally do it. I just won't have a clean house, but my dogs will be really happy because I'll just be hanging out on the couch and the cat too. So that is what I'm working on. Things coming up. Deb and Ashley's class for the Flurries cowl is full. I need to put my hair up, you guys. It is so warm in here. It's another thing. So this time of year, as a reminder, curls. Curls are not fun to try and put up on a ponytail. Dress in layers when you come in this time of year, because we never know if it's going to be 68 or 78 degrees in the shop. Today, it feels a little bit toasty. I don't think it's quite 78, but it has been in the mid 70s in here. And that's warm if you're bundled up and planning to be, outside because it's December and a little bit cool out. So dress in layers so you can take a layer off or put a layer on if you need to. Double knitting. Joyce would like to also do a double knitting kind of class knit along in January and February for the cozy cat shelf scarf. This is, I didn't write the name of the designer down, but it's a mystery knit along. This was one of the mystery knit alongs from a couple of years ago that Joyce started and finished, and Kristen did not. Kristen started, did not finish, but each week you get like 2 or 3 blocks of the pattern. You get to a halfway point and it reverses, so you're going the opposite direction. So both sides of the scarf are facing upright. And then it's double knitting. So you've got reverse images. This one has 2 sections in which the sections of double knit are not mirrored. So if you were to do love, I know on Facebook it's backwards anyways, but if it were mirrored knitting, the love would look right on one side and backwards on the other side. This looks, if you're watching on Facebook, it looks backward on both sides because the camera is reversed. But what was I going to say about that? I don't know if the new one is going to have that, but this is the designer. Most of her knits are Lisa Hannon Fox. Thank you. Most of her designs are cat themed. This one coming up is cat themed. It's cat and library themed. But she has also designed the heart with the heartbeat that Joyce has knit a couple scarves of and a few other things. So if that is something that you're interested in, Joyce is the queen of all things double knit. She's making double knit coasters for her grandson and his fiance's bridal shower. They're really cool little bookshelf coasters. She was doing double knit coasters for Christmas for gifts for people. So maybe it was birthdays, might have been birthdays because they weren't all getting them at the same time. She's our go-to double knit gal. And so the mystery knit along starts January 8th. if that's something that you're interested in, let us know and we will figure out when that's going to be, where it's going to be, all of that good stuff. But I think that would be a fun thing. Hi, Ruth. So that is coming up as well. And that would be like, and every week come in and work on your section if you needed to. I'm sure we could take 1 week, maybe. I don't know, Joyce and I would have to talk about that a little bit more. Maybe we take like January 8th and make that a class on knit companion setup. And then the actual knit along would start a week after. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky being closed a couple Thursdays, because that's when Joyce and I normally chat about things that she might do coming up, but we will figure it out. Let's see what else is on my list. I think that's all the knitting I have to show you. I did want to talk about, I posted yesterday a couple of the Support Small Sundays that we've been doing. I totally forgot. I took pictures and everything last Sunday when we went to Flushing and completely forgot to even post it. But we went to Evers and Ali. I guess they have two locations, one in Linden and one in Flushing. We went to the Flushing one, which, side note, I did not realize you could just take 13 down to Pearson Road and it's like 2 miles east and you're in Flushing. I have always just gone down 75. So that was a fun thing for me to learn and appreciate Google Maps for that. But Everson Alley is a sweet little coffee shop owned by a husband and wife, named after two of their kids. Everly and Oliver, I think, are their names. But a nice little place. They had some gifty things there from local makers. They had somebody making the tallow lotions and some screen printed, really sweet t-shirts and sweatshirts and candles and some printed bags. So really cute place. We got sandwiches and coffee and tea and it was delicious. Aw, you sit in Evers and Ollie to knit. The one in Flushing, Karen, or the one in wherever the other one is that I just said that I can't remember. It's a really cute place. I wish they had more seating area there, and it was freezing because the day we went, the wind was straight out of, I don't know, the west, at whatever side their drive-through window is on, and so every time they opened that window, this cold air was just blowing straight in. But a really, really cute place, and we were talking to one of the owners, and he was really a really nice guy. Oh, cool. And then yesterday we went to Bay City to Harless and Hugh. I had a little bit of a ulterior motive with that because there was an estate sale that I wanted to go to in Bay City. So we went to Harless and Hugh. I don't know if it's new because I don't remember from being there before, but they are carrying pastries from Crust Bakery, which is delicious. So the quiche that I got was from Crust. And they had some of their like granola bars and a few other things. Of course, they have just delicious pastries and stuff anyway. So Harless and Hugh is always a good option in Bay City too, right across from the post office on Washington. And I think that might be all I have to talk about. So as a reminder, holiday hours, we're only open till 3 this Wednesday and next Wednesday. So 10 to 3 on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but hours as normal, Fridays and Saturdays, 10 to 7. Same for the rest of the market. Come in and see us, hang out with us on Wednesday if you got time off and want to come, or if you're used to coming on Thursday but can't come Thursday because we're closed, you can come Wednesday or Friday. All right. If we don't talk to you this week, I hope everybody has Merry Christmas. Or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. I can't remember where we are if Hanukkah's done now. I believe Hanukkah's done. started last Sunday. My days are so messed up. I lost a day here and a day there, but I hope everybody has a great holiday. I hope you are able to find joy in the little things, spend time with family as much as you can, or friends that you've chosen to make your family. Be safe if you're traveling. And I plan to be right back here next Monday at 7 o'clock. So if I don't see you between now and then here at the shop, then we'll see you next Monday at 7. All right, everybody. Have a good night and have a good